got a lot of nerve sending me an invitation to your wedding. Do you know that? Honestly, what even is this supposed to be, Daisy?
Oh, Minnie, don't be so mean to me. I'm just your little sister inviting you to my wedding. Are you really going to tell me that's such a bad thing to do?
Of course it's a bad thing to do when the man you're going to marry is my boyfriend who you stole from me. But you know what you did. Just why do you think I'd ever want to help you and Donald celebrate? I still can't even believe that the two of you are actually getting married.
Well, if I can be honest with you, I'm pretty surprised about it myself. We weren't even serious when I started seeing him. But I guess that Donald just couldn't get enough of me, and before I knew it, he was on his knee proposing to me. And it was a really, really beautiful and expensive-looking ring, so how could I say no?
Well, I'm glad that the two of you are happy, but I'm not going to be going to your wedding, so consider this me officially telling you that I won't be there.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. To be honest, I didn't even think that you were going to show up to something like this anyways. But you're family, and so I figured that I had to at least send you an invitation as a formality.
Great, well thanks for understanding, I guess. If anyone else asks why I won't be there, just make up some excuse like I have to work or something, got it?
That's a great idea. You did always get more of the brains between us, and I'm glad you see there's no point in letting the family know the truth about us.
Oh, trust me, I don't want nothing more than to let everyone know the kind of snake that you are. But I don't see what good it would do. It wouldn't fix the damage that you caused. Just know that I'm not keeping quiet for your sake.
Yeah, whatever you say. Anyways, thanks for the excuse idea. Hey there, Miss Opal. I'm really sorry to be reaching out to you on your day off, but is now a good time to talk?
Oh, hello, Laura. I'm going to see you tomorrow, aren't I? What is it that you need to talk to me about?
Well, it's actually not about the lessons. I had a more private question that I kind of wanted to ask you. I actually just wanted to ask if you had a little sister.
Well, I do actually have a younger sister, yes. But what makes you ask about her?
I knew it. I'm just curious, though. Is her name Daisy? Because if it is, then is your little sister going to be getting married soon?
Hold on a second. How did you know that she was going to be getting married?
Well, actually, you remember the last time you came over for the lesson, we talked about my son, right? I told you about how he had been dating the same woman for a few years and was wondering if he was going to marry her. Well, it turns out that his girlfriend is your sister.
Wait a second, so you're telling me that your son is going to be marrying my little sister?
That's right. I actually just got the official announcement from my son the other day. Of course, I had met his girlfriend before, and I had always thought that she bore a striking resemblance to you. But then when I started to ask my son about it, and he told me what his girlfriend's last name was, it all finally clicked for me. That's how I figured out the two of you are sisters.
I see. So then I guess that would mean that your son is Donald then.
That's right. Oh, I really am just so proud of that boy. He's turned into such a fine man, and now he's going to be getting married. But I had no idea that he'd be marrying your sister. Sometimes the world really is just a small place, isn't it?
Yeah, you can say that again. I mean, I have to say I'm quite surprised to hear all of this.
I know, right? Who knew that our families would end up getting closer like this? It really is pretty crazy. Anyways, now I'm even more excited for my son's wedding. But I was wondering, since it's your sister's wedding and all, are you going to give a performance there? I really would love it if you could.
You want me to play on my cello for Daisy and Donald's wedding?
Well, you're just the best player I know, and I can already see how perfect it would be for those two to walk down the aisle while you play beautifully. Not to mention the fact that it would just make the whole day that much more special for the happy couple, don't you think? Of course, I would never ask you to do this for free. We'd pay you, but I wanted to ask you about this first.
I see. Laura, I'm really sorry about this, but I already told my sister that I wouldn't be attending her wedding, so I won't be able to perform there either. I'm really sorry about this.
Hold on. You mean that you're not going to be there for your own sister's wedding? But this is a huge deal. How could you not be there? Is everything okay? I feel just awful now that I know you aren't going to be there.
Oh no, I'm fine. Thank you for asking, and please don't feel bad. It really is just family drama.
Oh, but you can't miss your sister's wedding because of something that happened in the past. Besides, there are going to be so many other people who know you there. And my family is going to be there too, so please, won't you reconsider? It would be amazing to see you there.
Well, I think I'll maybe have to think about it, but it probably won't happen.
Well, what if you just bring your boyfriend to the wedding too? Maybe you could use this wedding to try and convince your boyfriend to have one with you too. I think Donald said he wouldn't have any issues if people brought +1s to the wedding.
Laura, I really do appreciate the consideration, but I think that I'm just gonna have to turn you down. Besides, my boyfriend is already going to be at the wedding.
Wait, what? What do you mean your boyfriend is going to be at the wedding? Is your boyfriend one of Donald's friends or something like that?
Not quite. My boyfriend is Donald, you see.
Wait a second, what do you mean that your boyfriend is Donald? That doesn't make any sense. What are you going on about?
Or was my boyfriend, I should say. I really am sorry to have to tell you like this, but the fact is that the boy I was dating was Donald. We broke up and it was all because he proposed to my sister Daisy instead.
You mean that you were dating my son and I had no idea about it? How did that happen? I thought you were with your boyfriend for 3 years.
Yes, we were together for 3 years, but it was during that time he started having an affair with my sister, and in the end they ended up getting together and we broke up, and now they're getting married.
You mean to tell me that your sister and my son had an affair behind your back, and that then my son broke up with you to be with your sister? But this is the first that I'm hearing of any of this. How could Donald do that to someone?
You know, we have a lesson scheduled for tomorrow. If you'd like, you could come a bit earlier and maybe we could talk about this. I really would like to be able to give you all the details, as I'm sure you're feeling really confused right now.
Yes, please, if that's all right with you. I think we should do that. Maybe I could come a couple of hours before the lesson was supposed to start.
Of course, that'd be no problem at all. I'll think of all that I want to say and prepare some tea.
Wait a second, what's this? I thought you said you weren't going to be at my wedding, and yet here you are. Am I dreaming? Do my eyes deceive me? I certainly didn't think I'd be seeing you today.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not here to cause any trouble. I just had to watch this unfold with my own eyes.
I really don't get you sometimes, sis. You go on and on about how you don't want to be at my wedding, and yet you change your mind at the last minute and show up anyways.
Well, a lot has happened since I first texted you that I wasn't going.
Yeah, apparently. But I don't really care what you have going on. Does this mean that you've forgiven Donald and I then? Or is this just your way of trying to tell him that you still have feelings for him? Because I only want you here if you're ready to help us celebrate our wedding. Except too bad for you, you already said that you weren't going to come, and so we didn't arrange to have a space ready for you. So if you want to stay here, you'll just have no choice but to stand in the corner of the room and watch from there.
Excuse me? You mean you really can't even bring down one spare chair for me?
I said what I said. If you're going to be here, though, I hope you brought us some cash as a wedding present. I wasn't expecting anything from you, but you should have had the good sense to bring something.
Oh, give me a break, Daisy. Did you really think that I came here to give you and Donald money? I'm never going to forgive either of you for what you did to me, and I'm not here to celebrate with you.
Well, then what are you doing here if not to give us money or forgive us? Do you not think I was being serious? Is that why you're here? Or did you come to try and ruin the wedding? Because that just isn't going to work, so you can stop wasting your time now. You are never ever going to get Donald back, so you should just accept that right now.
You think I want Donald back? I never ever want to be with him again. Do you understand me?
You say that, and yet here you are at our wedding refusing to say what you're doing here. I know you're mad because I stole Donald and he went to a good school and works a really nice job and makes $1 million salary, but you have to let those feelings go.
For the last time, I am not still in love with Donald. Do you understand?
Well, then tell me what you think you're doing here at our wedding right now. Because I am sick of you lying about not liking him when you're clearly here to try and steal him back. And don't get mad at me for not having a place for you when you're the one showing up after saying you wouldn't be here. If you're not here to give us money, then why don't you just turn around, go home, and accept that you've lost to me?
Actually, if you must know, I was invited by Donald's parents.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean that I don't care if you don't have a seat for me on your side. I was invited here, and when I've done what I've come to do, I'll leave.
Wait just a second. What do you mean Donald's parents invited you? I don't understand. Why in the world are you even talking to Donald's parents? How do you even know who they are?
Oh, don't worry, you'll find out all of that soon. But I've got to go and get ready now, so I'll be seeing you.
What the heck was that? Why in the world were you up there on stage playing the cello with Donald's mom? Why were you there when Donald's mom is more than capable of playing beautifully without you there? I don't remember asking you to perform at my wedding.
Well, Laura wanted to perform with me since she'd been practicing so hard for so long.
That didn't answer any of my questions. I wanted to know why it was that you and my mother-in-law were doing a duet at my wedding. And why in the world did she even invite you to my wedding in the first place?
I really don't know what you want me to say. I try and attend all of my students' recitals, and if they want to perform with me, that's fine. But I've known Laura for 5 years now because she's been taking cello lessons from me.
You mean to tell me that my new mother-in-law has been your cello student for more than 5 years now?
That's right, and I was playing at your wedding at her invitation. She said she thought it would be great if we could both play. But she told me that she was too nervous to play by herself in front of everyone else, so she asked if I wouldn't mind duetting with her. Like I said, I'm more than happy to do that for my students.
So then, that's why you were invited to the wedding by his parents? Because you teach Laura how to play the cello?
Yeah, I think there were quite a few surprised faces when they figured out that I was teaching Laura how to play. And even after I went home when we were done, I got a bunch of texts asking why I left the wedding early.
But then, I just need to be sure about this. You didn't say anything to Laura, did you?
Say anything to her? Just what might you be talking about there? You mean like how you stole her son from me while we were dating? Or that you two were having an affair during the 3 months Donald and I were together? Or the fact that you hid that you were my sister from her all that time?
Yes, all of that! All of it! You didn't actually tell her any of that, did you?
I'm sorry, but I think it's now fair to say that Laura knows all about it.
You're kidding me. Why would you do this to her? Why would you tell her about all this?
Well, we actually had no idea just how close we were to each other. I had no idea she was Donald's mother, and she had no idea I'd been dating her son. But the secret kind of come out when she found out that you and I were related, and I felt like I had to explain it all to her.
But you said that you weren't going to tell. Even Mom and Dad don't know the truth, right? So then why did you have to go and tell Laura everything?
I'm sorry, but it's not easy keeping a secret like that to me. For years I had to pretend like my sister didn't steal my boyfriend from me. But I just couldn't lie to Laura when she asked why I wouldn't be going to the wedding and insisted that I be there with my boyfriend.
But why did you have to tell her? Why couldn't you have told her after the wedding? What am I going to do now?
You can't actually think that I'd ever lie to one of my students, right? Besides, I've known Laura for a long, long time. I can't stand lying to her.
This is seriously bad. I could be in a lot of trouble. And here I thought Laura was starting to like me. But if she knows what I did in order to start dating her son, then... Hold on a second. Just how long has Laura known the truth for?
Well, I'd say maybe about 2 months or so at this point.
But then why hasn't she said a thing about it to me? Do you think she could be plotting something against me? Or was her performance her way of telling me that she doesn't care at all about my past? I don't get it. Does she like me, or doesn't she?
Yeah, I really wouldn't know. I'm curious though, do you know the name of the piece that she and I played today? It's called The Day of Rage.
Rage? The song is called Day of Rage?
That's right, it was actually Laura who picked out the arrangement. She said it would be a good way to express how we were feeling about the wedding.
But then, wouldn't that mean that she's actually mad at me about this? Doesn't that mean that Laura's just furious about what I've done then?
You mean you really couldn't tell from the music? Anyways, it sounds to me like you and your new in-laws have a lot to talk about. Good luck with that.
Miss Opal, I just wanted to thank you so much for yesterday. I was nervous, but we really did it.
I thought you were just wonderful. You've really come so far and it shows in every pull of the bow you made.
That makes me so happy to hear. Thank you so much for that.
Of course, and I just want to wish you all the best in your future cello endeavors.
What do you mean? Are you quitting teaching?
Well, no, but I just figured after all that my sister had put you through, keeping me as your teacher would be awkward.
Of course not. You think I'm going to let my son's stupid mistakes or your sister come between me and the best cello teacher I've ever had?
Oh, I see. Well, yes, in that case, I'd love to continue our cello lessons.
In fact, several family members and friends came up to me saying they might like to start the cello as well. So I'd be happy to introduce some of them to you if you'd like. As for my son, I've decided to cut him out of my life. At this point, I want nothing more than to forget all about him.
You're cutting your son out of your life? Is that a good idea?
Of course, he was lying to me about who he really was this whole time. And he hurt someone I care about, you. But anyways, I really don't want to talk about the subject anymore, so if it's okay with you, I'd like to carry on as usual with our weekly lessons. Is that okay?
Yes, of course, I completely understand. I'll see you next week. After that, I got calls from Daisy complaining that our family and Donald's were cutting them both off entirely. Apparently the rumor mill did its magic at the wedding, and soon all the guests knew the truth between Daisy and Donald. In the end, the two of them decided to pack up their things and start a new life elsewhere. But since he had to quit his job to do so, Donald had to restart his career, with a much lower salary. As the stress built up, I heard that he ended up having other affairs where he was spending all of his money on other girls. I have no idea what Daisy is going to do about any of this, with no other means to provide for herself, but that's a mess for her to get out of. As for me, Laura introduced me to some of her family and friends, and my number of students more than doubled. I was actually able to quit my job and start teaching cello full-time, a dream of mine that I've had for a long, long time. I'm even going to try and rent studio space now that I have the means. Obviously, I wish that things could have gone differently between Donald, Daisy, and I, but what happened is already years in the past, and is pointless to think about changing now. But in some ways, I guess I have to be grateful for the two of them. After all, if Daisy hadn't stolen Donald from me, then I might not be getting to do what I always wanted to do with my life. Life is funny like that sometimes, I guess.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Can we talk? I'm at the bank trying to withdraw money for the kids' daycare and other expenses, but there's no money in the account. I couldn't even withdraw $100. Do you know anything about this?
Wasn't that payment due later?
Yeah, but I specifically marked it on our shared calendar a few days ago because I knew I would have time today. I wanted to pay it while I had time during lunch since I might forget if I put it off. Why isn't there any money in the account?
Oh yeah, I withdrew it because I needed it.
You withdrew money from our family account without discussing it with me?
I didn't think it was a big deal. I needed it urgently.
Tom, this is serious. What was so urgent that you had to empty our account without telling me?
Just some stuff I needed.
What exactly did you need? We agreed to discuss any major withdrawals.
Various things, but mainly for the gaming console that released last week.
Gaming? Wait, you bought a new gaming console? I haven't seen one at home.
I kept it somewhere else because you'd get mad if I played games at home. I needed the money to buy the new console and some games I want to play.
Where exactly are you keeping it, and how much did this cost?
At a friend's place. It wasn't that much.
Tom, give me the exact amount. How much did you spend?
About $800 with the games and everything. What about it?
$800 from our family account? How many times have I told you that this account is for living expenses and the children's education? When you want to buy personal items, use your own savings or money.
What else could I do? It was expensive, and I don't have any money in my account.
What happened to your last paycheck? Wasn't payday last week?
It all went to credit card payments.
All of it? What have you been buying that maxed out all your credit cards?
Just stuff I needed. Some golf equipment, new clothes for work.
Golf equipment? Since when do you play golf?
I need to start. It's important for work connections.
You've been shopping that much? I asked you not to waste money, didn't I? We reviewed our income and expenses together and calculated monthly spending limits. Why would you ignore the budgets we set together?
There are things I absolutely need to buy. What can I do?
Like what? What is so essential that you had to take money meant for our children's daycare?
You wouldn't understand. Men need certain things to maintain their status at work.
It's all because of your extravagant spending. Since what's spent is spent, you'll definitely put the money back in from next month's paycheck, right?
Yeah, I'll put it back.
I need you to promise me this can't happen again.
Okay, I'll put it back. Stop nagging.
Don't touch this account anymore. We can't sustain our lifestyle if this continues. We need to buy things for the kids and pay for daycare. This is already an expensive time for us.
It's fine if we use credit cards. We can just leave the payments to our future selves.
That kind of thinking is why you're always spending so much and ending up with no money.
I'm just having faith in our future selves. We'll earn more later.
We'll go bankrupt at this rate. We might need money for emergencies. What if one of the kids gets sick?
Never mind that. I have something to ask.
What now?
Where'd you hide the kids' bank books?
What? Why are you asking about that?
I was cleaning the house and couldn't find them. You hid them, didn't you?
Since when do you clean? You've never even changed a diaper.
That's not the point. Where are they?
Wait a minute, you never clean the house or do any housework. What's gotten into you? You're not planning to touch the kids' accounts, are you?
I suddenly have to go golfing with the CEO and his wife tomorrow, and then we're going drinking afterward. I need some money. Golfing is expensive.
Is this why you were looking for the bank books? Absolutely not!
Come on, it's for work. This is important networking.
Are you even listening to yourself? You can't steal from our children for golf.
They've got money from birth gifts, birthday presents, New Year's money, and school entrance celebrations. Not like they're using it.
That's because they're children. That money is for their future.
They'll get more celebrations in the future, and they get New Year's money every year. Using a bit won't hurt.
You are unbelievable. Do you know how hard our parents worked to save that money for them?
That's exactly my point. My parents contributed a lot to those accounts.
Yes, for their grandchildren, not for you to spend on golf.
But kids don't understand the value of money, and they have nothing to use for it right now.
They might need it in the future. College isn't free, you know.
That's years away. We can always save more later.
Like how you're saving now by maxing out credit cards?
Don't start with that again. And at least give me the portion for my parents.
What? Are you serious?
The money from my parents is practically mine. They've given quite a bit, haven't they? Come on, hand it over.
Your parents specifically said it was for their grandchildren's education.
They won't know if we use a little bit.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is theft, Tom.
It's not theft if it's family money.
I keep telling you, all that money was given to the children. No matter what you say, I won't let you touch the children's money. If I let you once, you'll probably use up all the money in their accounts.
You don't trust me at all, do you?
How can I when you've already emptied our joint account for a gaming console?
That was different. This is for work.
In fact, if you can't handle money responsibly, you're not giving me any choice. I'll have to put you on a daily allowance system.
What? Why should you control my wallet? I'm not a child.
Then stop acting like one. You're trying to steal from your own children.
I'm not stealing. I'm borrowing.
When exactly would you pay it back? With what money?
When I get my promotion. The CEO really likes me.
Because you can't handle money responsibly. As a result, you're trying to touch money that shouldn't be touched.
You're impossible. No wonder the guys at work say their wives are more understanding.
Oh, and which wives would those be?
Never mind. This is ridiculous. Fine, I'll use my secret savings.
Secret savings? What secret savings?
None of your business.
Good evening. I'm Amanda, the CEO's wife from Tom's company. We met at last year's company party and had such a lovely chat. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've been so busy. Oh, hello, Amanda. Yes, I remember you. That was quite a party. Your blue dress was stunning that night. Tom couldn't stop talking about how proud he was to have such a beautiful wife. That's kind of you to say. Thank you for always taking care of my husband. I heard he's going golfing with you and your husband today, followed by drinks. Yes, we had such a wonderful time. Tom is quite the natural at golf. Really? Well, that's surprising since he just started. Oh, has he not played before? He seemed so comfortable on the course. I see. And now you're all having drinks? I'm sorry we're keeping your husband so late when you have young children. Actually, he's drinking at our house right now. At your house? Oh, he said you'd be at a restaurant. I'm so sorry he's imposing on you this late. I can come pick him up right away if you'll share your address. Oh, no. Oh, please don't worry. Our home is quite spacious. And Tom seems so comfortable here already. Already? Has he been there before? I just meant he's very adaptable. We have plenty of rooms, and since I don't drink, my husband is happy to have someone to drink with. Is he not causing any trouble? He can be quite loose-tongued when drinking. Not at all. He's been telling the most fascinating stories about your family life. What kind of stories? Just little things. About how strict you are with money, how you never let him enjoy himself. I see. Actually, I wanted to ask, would it be all right if we borrowed your husband for the night? Pardon? Borrowed? Could we let him stay over? Both my husband and Tom are quite drunk, and I think it would be better if they rested here. That's why I reached out to you. This seems rather unusual for a work gathering. Oh, this is quite normal in our circles. My husband often has colleagues stay over. And you're comfortable with that arrangement? Of course! I take pride in being a generous hostess. Besides, Tom has stayed here before. Before? When was this? I meant it would be like he's stayed here before. He fits in so well with us. I see. It seems we're causing you even more trouble. It would be difficult for both Tom and you if he went home in this state, and I'm sure your children are sleeping. It would be a shame if they woke up. We don't mind at all, so we'll let him stay and send him home tomorrow. What time should I expect him? Oh, whenever he wakes up naturally. No need to rush on our account. Thank you for your consideration. I'll take you up on your kind offer. Thank you so much. I know it's an imposition, but please take care of him. While I have you, may I meddle in one more thing? What is it? Tom was just complaining about something while drinking. Complaining? About what exactly? About how you control him, the money situation specifically. Did he mention that he tried to take money from our children's accounts today? I hear you keep a tight hold on his purse strings. I know it's not my place to interfere with other households' finances, but as a fellow wife, I'm concerned. Concerned about what exactly? My husband is a CEO, you know. As women, as wives supporting our husbands, I believe we should let men maintain their dignity. And dignity requires unlimited access to money? Men need to feel powerful, Sarah. They need freedom to make their own choices. Even when those choices hurt their family? A wife shouldn't control her husband's wallet. If you tighten the purse strings too much, men will look elsewhere. Elsewhere? I can't be explicit, but you know how men are. They're always looking for freedom. You shouldn't make them feel confined. And you're speaking from experience? Let's just say I understand men's needs better than most wives. Thank you for the advice. My husband has a tendency to overspend and can't handle money responsibly. Since we have children, we're trying to discuss and decide on how to use money for our family's future. Men are always like children seeking freedom. It's up to us women to nurture them with a generous heart. Nurture? That's how I nurtured my husband into someone who doesn't worry about money, and thanks to that, I don't want for anything either. I imagine being a CEO's wife makes that easier. Oh, it's not about the money, it's about understanding what men need. And what do they need in your experience? Freedom, adventure, excitement, things that conventional wives often fail to provide. I see. Well, every marriage is different. How old are your children? 5 and 2. Such demanding ages. It must be hard managing them alone while Tom works so hard. Yes, especially since I work full-time too. Oh, you work? I thought you were a stay-at-home mother. No, I've always worked, even through both pregnancies. Our company has never had a male employee take paternity leave before, so I'm sorry we couldn't let Tom take any time off either. Excuse me? When your baby was born, such a shame he couldn't help more. That's strange. Tom told me he took 2 weeks of paternity leave, although he didn't spend much time helping around the house. Oh, I must be thinking of someone else. No, I distinctly remember because he said he told his company he wanted time off and was overjoyed when he was given 2 weeks, only to spend most of that time out with his friends. Did he? Oh, but his salary will definitely increase in the future as my husband's right-hand man, so as a wife, you should try not to make Tom feel too restricted. Well, I'm sorry for messaging so late. Good night. Wait, what do you mean by right-hand man? Oh, just that my husband has special plans for Tom's future. Nothing concrete yet. I see. Good night, then. Tom, we need to talk about your paternity leave.
What about it?
I had an interesting chat with Amanda. She said your company never gives paternity leave, even though you took 2 weeks off from work when I was having both children.
She must be confused.
Or am I confused about where you really were those 2 weeks?
Drop it, Sarah.
Were you even in the country? You said you were out with friends, but how much of that is really true?
I said drop it.
You took the kids' bank books, even though I hid them. Don't tell me you've withdrawn money. That money is for the children's future. You absolutely cannot use it.
Found them in your sock drawer. Not very creative.
How much did you take?
I need it for golfing with the CEO and his wife again. It's just a few $100s. Don't worry about it.
A few hundred? Put it back right now.
It's already spent. I needed new clubs.
Even if it's just a few hundred, even if it's just once, if you touch that money, you'll end up using it all. Absolutely not.
Stop nagging. Didn't Amanda teach you about being a proper wife?
What does Amanda have to do with this?
She told me about your line chat, about how controlling you are.
You and Amanda seem to talk a lot about me.
She understands what a wife should be.
But the CEO's family and our family have completely different incomes, situations, and family structures. We have our own way of doing things.
Even though Amanda was kind enough to give you advice, she really understands men's needs.
And what needs would those be?
Freedom, support, understanding, everything you don't give me.
Never mind that. Bring the bank books back right now. I won't forgive you if you withdraw even $1.
Too late. We're already done.
What? You really withdrew money from the children's accounts without permission?
I told you, I have the right to use the portion for my parents. I'm sick of you being so controlling. I wish I had a generous wife like Amanda.
A generous wife like Amanda? Is that what this is about?
Someone who supports my career growth instead of questioning every expense.
Career growth? Is that what you call drinking at our house?
What are you implying?
Those golf games, those late nights. How often do you really see the CEO at those meetings?
That's none of your business.
It is when you're stealing from our children to fund it.
I've had enough. We're absolutely incompatible when it comes to money management.
Only money management?
What? Want to get divorced? I don't mind. You'll be the one who regrets it.
Really? I'll regret losing a husband who steals from his children?
I provide for this family.
By maxing out credit cards and emptying savings accounts? Fine, I can't take this anymore. Let's get divorced.
Fine. Take all the kids with you. I won't pay child support either.
Put that in writing, why don't you?
Fine. That's what I'll do. I'm done with all of you.
Fine, that's what I'll do.
Get out right now from this house.
Gladly. I'll go to my parents' house with the kids. I'll contact you later about money matters like child support and division of assets. Until then, it's in your best interest not to touch the kids' accounts.
Whatever. Now I can use my salary however I want, and no one will complain about how I spend my money. What a relief. Amanda understands me better anyway.
Oh, I'm sure she does. Say hi to her for me.
Hey, Sarah. Why am I being asked for compensation? What's the certified letter of all these demands?
Did you read it carefully? Every single page?
These numbers are insane. Property division, child support, compensation?
It's a certified letter I prepared after consulting with my lawyer. I think the numbers for property division, child custody, child support, and compensation are all properly calculated with supporting evidence.
What? This is ridiculous. Why should I pay any compensation? What evidence?
Because I found out about your affair. Compensation for that is reasonable, isn't it?
Huh? Affair? What affair?
Should I be more specific? Dates, times, locations?
You're making things up.
When calculating the property division, I investigated the ATM locations where you withdrew money and your credit card statements. The ATM locations and credit card statements showed evidence of your affair. I didn't even need to hire an expensive private investigator. There was plenty of evidence.
You had no right to look into my private spending.
Private spending with our joint account and our children's money?
So you were snooping around behind my back.
Funny how you're more upset about the snooping than being caught.
You're just making assumptions.
Those hotel charges were assumptions. The jewelry store purchases I never saw. The restaurants where you'd supposedly taken clients.
That doesn't prove anything.
You're the one who was sneaking around, having an affair with the CEO's wife of all people.
How did you know it was Amanda?
Thank you for confirming that.
That's not...
When I texted her recently, she mentioned you hadn't taken paternity leave.
Huh?
That's strange, isn't it? 2 years ago, when our younger child was born, you said you took paternity leave from work, but instead of helping with childcare, you went on vacation.
Well, that...
Seems like you didn't coordinate your story with your mistress. But during the period you took paternity leave, the CEO was away on a long overseas business trip, wasn't he? You were living it up at the CEO's house, enjoying a summer vacation under the guise of paternity leave, using the CEO's money.
Have you told the CEO?
I filed for compensation from his wife, too, so it's only a matter of time.
You wouldn't dare.
The papers are already filed. Would you like me to forward you a copy?
No! This is bad! If this gets out, I'll be fired!
Should have thought about that before stealing from our children to fund your affair.
I can explain everything!
To me or to the CEO? The certified letter has already been delivered, so try to handle this responsibly. I'm waiting for your response to the letter.
Wait! Sarah! We can work this out!
Through our lawyers.
I've been told to move out. Why do I have to leave?
Have you forgotten? Who do you think made it possible to live in that house?
What do you mean?
You seem to have completely forgotten. That house is employee housing from my company. The divorce was finalized through the lawyers last week, and since we're no longer family, you have no right to live there.
Employee housing? Huh? Your company?
Did you never once wonder why our rent was so low for such a nice place?
What are you talking about?
The reason we could live in such a spacious 3-bedroom apartment near the station for just $900 is because it's company housing.
$900? Is this apartment really that cheap?
For this area, market rate would be at least $2,500.
But I thought...
You didn't even pay the rent yourself, so you had no idea. You just kept spending recklessly with no savings, and your monthly salary mostly went to credit card payments for things you bought expecting your future self to pay for. You only contributed $200 a month to the household.
But I'm supposed to become the CEO's right-hand man and get a raise in the future.
Still believing that fantasy after everything?
Amanda promised.
After having an affair with the CEO's wife, do you think you'll earn more than me? I make more than twice what you do.
Wait a minute. You earn more than twice what I do?
Why do you think we could afford this lifestyle?
How much exactly do you make?
How do you think we lived so comfortably when you barely contributed any money to the household?
Well, I just thought, with savings and using all your salary, we could manage somehow.
While you spent money on games and golf?
Make it sound so bad.
So you thought it was fine to spend money on games and things you want while my entire salary went to living expenses?
I work hard every day.
And I don't? Who gets up at 5 a.m. to prepare everything for the kids?
That's different. I work in an office.
We both work every day. I did all the housework and childcare by myself, but you still think you worked harder?
Men and women have different roles.
Yes, apparently your role was to empty our accounts while having an affair. I understand now just how self-centered you are. We can live just fine on my salary like before, so we don't need you.
You can't just throw me out.
Actually, I can. The housing office already approved it.
Give me some time to find a place.
Since the divorce is final and we're strangers now, let's just clear up the financial matters through the lawyers.
Wait. I'm about to lose my home and my job in this situation. Because you explained everything to my parents first, they're saying they'll cut ties with me.
Oh, you've spoken with them? What did they say about the money you took from their grandchildren?
They're overreacting, just like you.
Don't you have the generous CEO's wife? Why don't ask her for help?
About that. Amanda just texted me saying she's been kicked out of her house penniless. She's saying she's coming to stay here.
Here? In my company housing?
She has nowhere else to go.
Why don't you help her move and look for a place to live together?
That's irresponsible.
Now you're talking about responsibility?
This isn't funny.
You got married, had children, had an affair, spent the money meant for the children, and drove your family to ruin. Aren't you the irresponsible one?
Just talk to your company. At least help me stay here a little longer. Please, Sarah. You know I don't have enough money to move right away.
Since we're divorced, there's nothing I can do. Talking about money with you is pointless, so I'm leaving everything to the lawyer.
What about the kids? Don't they need their father?
Child support is the top priority, so at least try to fulfill your responsibility as a father.
How am I supposed to pay child support when I have no job and nowhere to live?
It's a question you should have asked yourself before starting an affair with your boss's wife.
Wait! Sarah! I don't have any money!
Goodbye, Tom.
Sarah, please. Can I at least see the kids?
When you start making child support payments, we can discuss visitation.
I'm doing day labor now. It's barely enough to eat.
Welcome to the consequences of your actions.
Amanda left me.
Oh?
She couldn't handle living in a cheap apartment. Said she needs her lifestyle.
Ironic, isn't it? Having a partner who can't handle money responsibly.
I get it now. I really get it.
Too little, too late. Through the lawyer, we settled on my ex-husband repaying the money he had misappropriated, with minimal property division, plus child support and compensation, along with repayment of the money he had taken without permission. He lost his job and hasn't been successful in finding new employment, so he's barely getting by with day labor jobs. Apparently, he and the CEO's wife briefly moved into a cheap apartment together, but he ended up leaving her because she couldn't break her expensive spending habits from her life as a CEO's wife. I think he might finally understand a bit of what it feels like to have a partner who wastes money, and I hope that he finally realizes that he got what he deserved, and that he has no one to blame but himself for losing the happiness we once shared.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.